Hello students, I am Dr. Parminder Kaur, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Today, I'll be discussing the topic Factors of Economic Growth. Having understood the difference between the terms economic growth and economic development and difference between the terms developing economy and developed economies, it is important for us to understand the factors of economic growth. The factors of economic growth can be categorized into two: economic factors and non-economic factors. Economic factors would consist of natural resources, human resources, capital, enterprise, and technology, while non-economic resources would include social institutions, political institutions, and moral values. I'll be discussing all these factors individually. First, let us discuss physical factors. Now, physical factors primarily refers to land, mineral resources, forest, soil. Remember, in economics, land does not only refer to a piece of land. All the resources above land, below land, water resources, minerals, forests, all that will be included in the category of land. Remember that in less developed countries, there is prevalence of economic backwardness, lack of technological factors, along with very less physical resources. Now, it is not always important that a country, if it has to go on the path of development, it needs to have abundance in natural resources. A number of countries have proven otherwise. For example, if you take the country Japan, in spite of the fact that it has very limited natural resources, but effective utilization of the existing resources by modern technology, research, and this deficiency in economic resources has been overcome by these nations. So, one of the most determining factor is that of availability of natural resources, land. The second factor that determines economic growth is that of human resources, human capital. Now, what is the meaning of the term human capital? Human capital formation refers to the process of increasing knowledge, skills, and the capacity of all the people of the country. Now, if you take the example of two countries, India and China, the population of these two countries a few years back was considered to be one of the reasons for a low level of development in these two countries. But eventually, over time, with a lot of investment on health, education, training, skill formation, the same liability has become an asset. So, for increasing the human capital, investment on human resources is important in the form of investment on education facilities, health facilities, and but at times population is considered to be a drag on growth, because every increase in GNP actually gets swallowed up by increase in the numbers, and this additional capital is used to satisfy the basic needs of the population, as a result of which the additional capital formation to increase the productive efficiency of the country becomes impossible. Now, there are a lot of institutional and social changes that are required for human capital formation. Number one, spread of education. There should be training, skill formation, increase in the productivity of capital, and there has to be a change in the attitude of the labor as well. People should be ready to welcome the change of economic change and opportunities in it. And those who are dedicated to economic development of the country with high standards of honesty, competency, knowledge, and performance lead to substantial increase in the human capital. Now, coming to the third important and very important determinant of economic growth is capital, that is physical capital. What does physical capital means? Capital means the stock of physical reproducible factors of production, and when the capital stock increases with the passage of time, this is called capital accumulation. Now, the process of capital accumulation is cumulative and self-feeding, and it includes three stages. First stage is the existence of savings. These savings need to be mobilized by financial institutions and made available to the investor. When the investor invests these savings for formation of capital goods, that leads to capital formation. We all are aware of the fact that LDCs are known for their low propensity to save. The reason behind that is low level of income. So this leads to low savings. Low savings leads to less of investment, and this less of investment, low investment, leads to low capital formation. And as Knox puts, these economies, the developing economies, are caught up in a vicious circle of poverty. These economies, the major challenge with these economies is to break this vicious circle of poverty and transform into a virtuous circle of prosperity, because capital is very, very important for economic growth of a nation. Now, what is the importance of capital? Capital formation not only reflects effective demand, but on the other and more important aspect, it increases the productive efficiency for future production. And capital formation is essential to meet the requirements of the increasing population. It not only increases the productive potential of the economy, but leads to generation of additional employment opportunities, technological progress, division of labor, specialization, increase in efficiency, and but most of the LDCs are characterized by very high capital, investment on social overhead capital. Social overhead capital would mean expenditure on transport, power, education, because these are prerequisites for development of any nation. So capital formation leads to exploitation of natural resources, industrialization, expansion of markets, and according to Lewis, the rate of capital formation in LDCs is as low as 5%, and this needs to be raised to 12 to 15% if these economies are to experience impressive rate of economic growth. At this juncture, we also need to clarify the term ICOR, that is also incremental capital output ratio. This plays a very important role in modern economic growth. Now, what is ICOR? It refers to the additional amount of capital required to produce an additional unit of output. Now, in LDCs, this ICOR is very high because a lot of investment is on SOC, as I just said, and the gestation period, that is the difference between the time of investment and the returns that start flowing in, is very high. As a result of which, ICOR is very high in developing nations as compared to developed nation. Other important determinant of economic growth is research and development. It has been found that the percentage of GDP that is spent on R&D is substantially low as compared to developed nation. Now, the most important point is also the level of technological development. Technology, the changes, and how ready is the country for adoption of new techniques of research and innovation. And changes in technology lead to increase in the productivity of labor, capital, and other factors of production. Now, what would comprise of technological advancement? It would mean scientific discovery or addition to the technical knowledge, invention, innovation, improvement, spread of invention. All those jointly would comprise technology advancement. Now, LDCs must import modern technology to accelerate their productive capacity in the short run, because they cannot wait until they themselves invent or modify the technology. But it should be kept in mind that in addition to the import of the advanced technology, it has to be tweaked, and changes need to be made to suit the indigenous requirements and assimilation of indigenous technical skills. So, low cost, capital saving, labor intensive productivity raising technology which can be transferred to developing countries. So students, today we have discussed the important factors that determine economic growth of nations. Thank you.